Join us as we pay tribute to the unforgettable stars of Columbo, 1971 to 1978, with a special focus on the 39 actors who have tragically passed away. This beloved detective series captured the hearts of millions, and the actors behind the iconic characters left a lasting legacy. In this heartfelt tribute, we explore their careers, personal lives, and the impact they made on television. From brilliant performances to untold stories, discover the lives of those who contributed to making Columbo a timeless classic and honor their memory as we reflect on their incredible journeys. Peter Falk, who portrayed Lieutenant Columbo, began his role in Columbo in 1971 at the age of 44. Columbo, known for his unkempt appearance and sharp intellect, was a detective who used his seemingly absent-minded demeanor to outsmart the most cunning criminals. Behind the character's brilliance, Falk's life was filled with personal struggles. His first marriage to Alice Mayo lasted 32 years before ending in divorce in 1976. Falk's relationship with Mayo was strained, and they had 2 adopted children. After their divorce, Falk remarried actress Shara Danese in 1977, but the marriage was also marked by emotional distance and infidelity. Falk's final years were plagued by Alzheimer's disease, which robbed him of his memories, including his beloved role as Columbo. Falk passed away on June 23, 2011, at the age of 83, due to complications from pneumonia and Alzheimer's, leaving behind a career of immense impact, but also a life defined by personal heartbreak and loss.
Catch the kidnapper.
Oh, well, the federal agents are on that, and of course we have our men on it, too.
Very reassuring.
Yes, it is, because they do a fine job. But, you see, the thing is with me,
Bruce Kirby, who played Sergeant George Kramer on Columbo, started his role in 1973 at the age of 48. Kramer's character was reliable and loyal, always there to support Columbo in solving the most complicated cases. In contrast, Kirby's personal life was marred by turmoil. His first marriage to actress Barbara Bastar ended in divorce, and the couple had a son, but their relationship was strained. Kirby struggled with the pain of raising his son alone and dealing with the emotional scars of his broken marriage. Despite a steady career in television, Kirby faced financial instability and depression in his later years. He also battled a sense of personal failure as his career began to wind down. Kirby passed away on January 24, 2021, at the age of 95, from natural causes. His life was overshadowed by the pain of lost love and the challenges of an increasingly difficult personal life, even as he remained dedicated to his craft.
did anybody see it?
Yeah. The guy in 119 went out for cigarettes. He heard the scream and he saw the body hit.
When was that?
Vito Scotti, who played Chadwick in Columbo, joined the series in 1973 at the age of 55. Chadwick was a quirky character, often bringing levity to the show's darker moments, yet Scotti's personal life was filled with hardship. His first marriage ended in divorce, and his second marriage was overshadowed by his wife's ongoing battle with depression, which ultimately led to her untimely death. The loss of his wife left Scotti emotionally devastated, and his career began to stagnate as financial problems and personal grief weighed heavily on him. In his later years, Scotti was diagnosed with lung cancer, and his health rapidly declined. He passed away on June 5, 1996, at the age of 78, having lived a life defined by sorrow, loss, and the tragic realities of a family torn apart by illness and emotional pain. His death marked the end of a career that, while memorable, was overshadowed by personal struggles that never seemed to ease.
Your wife, very well, sir.
So you think this will be all right?
Oh, yes, quite sure. Mario?
All right.
Fine.
All right.
All right, sir.
We take one of them.
John Finnegan, who portrayed the first workman on Columbo, began his role in 1972 at the age of 46. Finnegan's character was a minor but grounded presence in the show, helping to bring authenticity to the setting. However, his real life was far from the steady character he portrayed. Finnegan's first marriage ended in divorce, and he struggled with maintaining a relationship with his children. He became deeply affected by alcoholism and depression, which negatively impacted both his personal and professional life. As work opportunities dwindled, Finnegan found himself increasingly isolated, spending his later years in loneliness. In addition to his emotional turmoil, his health began to fail, and he ultimately contracted pneumonia. Finnegan passed away on July 29, 2012, at the age of 85, a man burdened by the weight of his past mistakes, failed relationships, and an unfulfilled career, leaving behind a legacy that was largely forgotten.
There's a vase out there worth a couple of $1,000. We never touched that. It's the same guy, all right.
All right, I want you to pick up every known burglar first thing in the morning. I don't care if you talked to him before.
Val Avery, who portrayed Artie Jessup in Columbo, began his role in 1971 at the age of 47. Artie was a tough, street-smart character, involved in shady dealings that often put him at odds with Columbo. Avery's career spanned several decades, during which he played a variety of supporting roles in both television and film. However, his personal life was less fulfilling. He married twice, and although he had children, his second marriage ended in divorce, leaving him emotionally scarred. Despite his professional successes, Avery struggled with loneliness and regret, often reflecting on the personal sacrifices he made for his career. As his health declined in his later years, Avery became more reclusive, avoiding the limelight. He passed away on December 12, 2009, at the age of 85, from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of memorable roles but a personal life defined by emotional isolation and unfulfilled relationships.
Where's my jacket? You want to book me? Go ahead, book me. Where's my jacket?
You had nothing to do with it.
Then what are you here for?
Jack Cassidy, who played the charismatic but dangerous Ken Franklin in Columbo, began his role in 1971 at the age of 44. Franklin was a suave, charming villain whose deceptive nature made him one of Columbo's most memorable adversaries. Cassidy was an accomplished actor, with a career spanning television, film, and theater. However, his personal life was plagued by turmoil. He married actress Shirley Jones in 1956, and they had 3 children together, but their marriage was marred by his alcoholism and frequent infidelities. Despite efforts to salvage their relationship, the couple divorced in 1974. Cassidy struggled with depression, addiction, and a sense of personal failure, which led to a downward spiral in his later years. Tragically, he died on December 12, 1976, at the age of 49, when an accidental house fire claimed his life. His death was a devastating blow to his family and fans, adding a dark chapter to a life filled with both artistic brilliance and personal demons.
A little bit. Lieutenant, if you'll forgive me, my daughter is waiting for me. If there's anything I can do to help, please ask, less burying the secrets of my grand illusions.
Richard Stahl, who portrayed the ballistics man in Columbo starting in 1972 at the age of 40, became a familiar face for his portrayal of the meticulous forensic expert. His character's expertise in ballistics was pivotal in solving numerous cases, and Stahl's precise and subtle performance left a lasting impression on audiences. Off-screen, however, Stahl faced a much darker reality. As he entered his later years, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a condition that slowly robbed him of his mobility and independence. His battle with the disease took a tremendous toll on his personal life, particularly his marriage, which became strained due to his deteriorating health. The emotional burden of the illness and the physical challenges left Stahl in isolation, unable to fully enjoy the professional accomplishments he had earned. Despite his growing challenges, Stahl remained a beloved figure in the industry. He passed away on June 18, 2006, at the age of 74, after a prolonged struggle with Parkinson's disease.
He usually use this office to make all his travel arrangements.
Yes, he does.
Well, would you check on it? The Sunday reservation?
I'll have to consult.
Robert Culp, who portrayed the brilliant but manipulative Dr. Bart Keppel in Columbo, began his role in 1971 at age 41. Keppel was a highly intelligent, calculating character who often clashed with Columbo's more down-to-earth approach. Culp's career was marked by iconic roles, especially in the series I Spy, but his personal life was marred by struggles. He was married twice, first to actress Nancy Ashe and then to actress Candace Watson, but both marriages ended in divorce. Culp's relationships with his children were strained, and his personal life seemed to suffer as he grew older. He often spoke of the emotional toll his career had taken on his relationships, and his later years were marked by solitude and regret. Culp died on March 24, 2010, at age 79, from a heart attack. While his death was a loss to the entertainment world, it also symbolized the end of a life overshadowed by emotional struggles and personal disappointments.
It is, huh? Well, that's funny because I've got the proof right here in front of me. It started when he hired her to do the bathing suit commercials.
Arlene Martel, who played the enigmatic Gloria West in Columbo, began her role in 1972 at the age of 36. Gloria was a sophisticated, mysterious woman whose complex relationship with Columbo created an intriguing dynamic. Martel had a varied and successful career, appearing in numerous television series and films, but her personal life was marked by hardship. She married 3 times, and although she had a son, her relationships were often fraught with emotional turbulence. Martel faced difficulties in her marriages, which ultimately ended in divorce, leaving her with a sense of unfulfilled love. Her later years were marked by declining health, and despite her enduring talent, she struggled with feelings of isolation. Martel passed away on August 12, 2014, at age 78, from a heart attack. Her death marked the end of a career that had left a significant mark on television, yet her personal life remained a series of poignant tragedies and unspoken heartaches.
About that trust fund.
Well, how should I know? When Tony was drinking, it's like the other night. No.
Patrick McGoohan, who portrayed the strict and commanding Colonel Lyle C. Rumford in Columbo starting in 1974 at the age of 46, had an intensely disciplined and controlling on-screen presence. Off-screen, McGoohan was a man driven by his own personal demons, and his life was a complex web of professional triumphs and personal struggles. Despite his fame, McGoohan's marriage to actress Kathleen was marked by emotional distance, with his obsessive work ethic and the pressures of his career contributing to a sense of isolation. Though McGoohan achieved significant success in his career, including his iconic role in The Prisoner, the internal conflicts and the toll of aging left him grappling with a sense of irrelevance. His final years were marked by a growing sense of loneliness as his professional opportunities began to dwindle. McGoohan passed away on January 13, 2009, at the age of 80, after a brief illness.
Would you pass the butter?
If I pass the butter, will you promise to explain to me why the conversation?
Robert Vaughn, who played the charming and calculating Charles Charlie Clay in Columbo in 1975 at the age of 43, was a master of portraying suave, intelligent characters with a knack for manipulation. His character's brilliance in Columbo mirrored Vaughn's own success in a Hollywood career that spanned decades. However, as the years passed, Vaughn's career became increasingly difficult to maintain as the film industry's focus shifted to younger stars, leaving him to cope with a sense of professional decline. While his marriage to actress Linda Staub was a long and enduring partnership, it was not immune to the pressures of aging and the personal insecurities that grew as his career slowed. Vaughn's personal struggles deepened when he was diagnosed with acute leukemia, which ravaged his body. His health deteriorated rapidly, and his once vibrant life was overshadowed by illness. He passed away on November 11, 2016, at the age of 83.
That's the jibe, Lieutenant. That's your old-fashioned jibe from port to starboard. Starboard to port, right to left, left to...
Ray Milland, who played the wealthy and manipulative Arthur Kennicott in Columbo in 1971 at the age of 64, portrayed a character whose power and influence complicated Columbo's investigations. Kennicott, with his air of superiority and vast resources, made for a formidable adversary. Milland's career, however, was marked by decline in his later years. After a successful run in Hollywood, he struggled with the changing nature of the film industry and found himself relegated to smaller roles. His personal life was just as fraught. His marriage to actress Muriel Weber ended in divorce after years of strain, leaving him with one son, Daniel, who distanced himself from his father. Milland's struggles with alcoholism further clouded his final years. A life that had once been filled with acclaim descended into isolation and sadness. He died on March 10, 1986, at the age of 79 from lung cancer, a tragic end for a man who once ruled Hollywood.
Headlights off.
I know.
Dashboard clock set back to 12:18.
And Frances, who played Nurse Sharon Martin in Columbo starting in 1972 at the age of 42, embodied compassion and care, often providing a steady and nurturing presence in the midst of Columbo's cases. Despite her warm on-screen persona, Frances's personal life was marked by tragedy. She had 2 marriages, both of which ended in divorce. Her first marriage to director and producer Bamlett Lawrence in 1950 resulted in a daughter, but the marriage ended in separation. Her second marriage to stockbroker and real estate developer Robert S. Huff was equally tumultuous, and the couple separated after a few years. In her later years, she struggled with the financial instability caused by the declining nature of her career, and she faced the deep sorrow of losing close friends to cancer. Despite her efforts to continue acting, roles became scarce, and she suffered from health issues herself. And Frances passed away on January 2, 2011, at the age of 80 from complications related to pancreatic cancer.
I believe he says here we need another year of tests, at least.
That's going to overjoy Dr. Mayfield, I'm sure.
Oh, I know, he's rather...
Wilfrid Hyde-White, who portrayed the sophisticated and urbane Kittering, ESQ, in Columbo, began his role in 1972 at the age of 69. Kittering was a man of charm and intelligence, someone who used his wit and connections to his advantage, often providing a touch of class to Columbo's investigations. However, Hyde-White's own life reflected a much bleaker reality. Though he was married twice, his relationships were marked by emotional distance, and his second wife, Betty, passed away in the 1980s after a long battle with illness. Hyde-White's personal life was filled with moments of loneliness and regret, despite his public persona of charm and sophistication. He struggled with a sense of emptiness in his later years, with fewer roles coming his way as his health began to deteriorate. His final years were plagued by isolation, and on May 6, 1991, he passed away at 87 from heart failure.
Thank you very much. I really wasn't looking for a drink. No, I was just wondering, I wonder, could you tell me, do you know whether or not the gentleman...
Jeanette Nolan, who portrayed the intelligent and resourceful Kate O'Connell in Columbo in 1973 at age 62, was known for her sharp wit and strength, traits that made her a memorable character. Yet her personal life was filled with deep sorrow. Married to actor John McIntyre, the couple had 2 children, but their marriage was often strained due to McIntyre's frequent absences, and Nolan found herself in the role of a single mother much of the time. Her career, while successful, also suffered as roles for older women in Hollywood became increasingly scarce. She endured the heartache of losing her husband to cancer in 1991, which left her emotionally devastated. In the years that followed, Nolan struggled with her own declining health, which ultimately led to a stroke. On June 5, 1998, Jeanette Nolan passed away at the age of 86, her death a reflection of a life filled with the agony of loss, loneliness, and the fading of a once promising career.
The TV there went off for a minute.
The TV went off?
Well, it came back on again in a few seconds.
Ida Lupino, who portrayed Doris Buckner in Columbo, began her role in 1972 at the age of 54. Doris was a complex character, marked by her inner strength, resilience, and determination. She was often thrust into emotionally charged situations, yet always stood firm, embodying both vulnerability and power. Lupino's career spanned decades, with notable roles in both film and television, often taking on strong, multifaceted women. However, her personal life was overshadowed by heartache. Her 2 marriages, first to actor Louis Hayward and later to producer Collier Young, ended in divorce, and she struggled with the loneliness of being a single mother to her daughter, who was born during her 2nd marriage. Her personal battles with depression and the emotional toll of her failed relationships followed her into her later years. In her final years, after suffering a stroke, Lupino found herself in isolation, unable to enjoy the career she had built. She passed away on August 3, 1995, at the age of 77.
Tommy, I saw the expression on your face when you were going to kiss that lost child. If it wasn't for me, you'd be using the crusade to lure her to some motel, right?
James Gregory, who portrayed Coach Rizzo in Columbo, began his role in 1972 at the age of 61. Coach Rizzo was a stern, no-nonsense figure whose tough coaching methods often masked his true caring nature. Gregory's acting career spanned many decades, with notable roles in both television and film, often playing characters that were similarly commanding and authoritative. His personal life, however, was far less stable. He was married 3 times, but his relationships were often strained, particularly the one with his 3rd wife, which ended in divorce. Gregory also had difficulty maintaining connections with his children, who he felt distanced from due to his demanding career. His later years were filled with regret, as he often reflected on the sacrifices his career demanded and the cost to his family. In his final years, Gregory was plagued with health issues, but he remained active in his acting career until his death. He passed away on September 16, 2002, at the age of 90 from natural causes.
When the man was alive, so I figured you'd want to know.
Yes, John, I never did anything right, of course.
John Dehner, who portrayed Commodore Otis Swanson in Columbo, began his role in 1974 at the age of 59. Commodore Swanson was a commanding and authoritative figure, his naval background giving him an air of distinction and gravitas. Dehner's career in Hollywood spanned over 5 decades, during which he became a staple in westerns, television dramas, and voice acting. However, Dehner's personal life was filled with misfortune. He was married twice, both marriages ending in divorce. His relationships with his children were often strained, and his emotional difficulties only deepened as he grew older. The toll of years spent in a high-pressure industry and his own personal regrets seemed to weigh heavily on him. In his later years, Dehner's health began to fail, and his once strong and vibrant demeanor began to diminish. He passed away on February 4, 1992, at the age of 76 from emphysema and diabetes.
Don't like conglomerate.
Oh, Daddy, stop all this. We're here today, all of us, to have some fun now. Come on.
I mean, so you can get drunk.
Tim O'Connor, who played Edward Litton in Columbo, began his role in 1973 at the age of 46. Litton was a sophisticated, sharp-minded character whose cunning intelligence often put him at odds with Columbo's unassuming style. O'Connor's career flourished in television, with notable roles in Buck Rogers in the 25th Century and other popular series, but his personal life was marked by difficulties. He was married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, leaving him heartbroken and estranged from his children. O'Connor also struggled with the toll that his career took on his personal happiness, often speaking about how the constant travel and demanding schedule left him emotionally distant from his loved ones. In his later years, O'Connor found solace in his work, though the regret of lost relationships lingered. In his final years, he was diagnosed with colon cancer, a disease that eventually claimed his life. He passed away on April 5, 2018, at the age of 90.
Trouble there is, it seems to me that they both have pretty good motives. I'm very big on motive.
Mm-hmm. Norman's gambling debts, you mean?
You know about that.
I just made sure the old man never found out.
Bernard Fox, who portrayed Detective Chief Superintendent William Dirk in Columbo starting in 1972 at age 45, was a veteran actor with a career spanning decades. Known for his precise, methodical approach to solving cases, his character was the epitome of professionalism. However, Bernard's personal life painted a different picture. Married to Jacqueline, with whom he had children, he found himself often torn between his demanding career and family obligations. His fame and work on both Columbo and other projects created a constant strain at home, as his dedication to his roles often left him emotionally distant. Despite this, the couple remained married until the end. In his later years, Bernard faced serious health issues, particularly heart disease. He passed away on December 14, 2016, at the age of 89, after a prolonged battle with heart failure. His death was a reminder of the sacrifices that come with fame, both professionally and personally.
Lieutenant, we have an 8 o'clock curtain, so please call us if there's anything we can do, Mr. Duck.
My dear fellow, you already...
Sorrell Booke, who played the charming and eccentric Bertie Hastings in Columbo from 1974 at age 44, was known for infusing his character with humor and personality. However, Sorrell's personal life was far less comedic. Married to Diane Bourne for several years, their marriage faced considerable challenges due to his demanding acting career. Booke's dedication to his roles often led him to neglect his family life, and the emotional toll on his marriage was immense. The couple eventually divorced, and Booke's relationships with his children became strained. His health took a devastating blow when he was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. Despite undergoing treatments, his condition worsened, and the battle became all-consuming. Sorrell passed away on February 11, 1994, at the age of 64, leaving behind a legacy as a talented actor but also a cautionary tale about the personal costs of fame and neglect. His death marked the end of an era for his fans and a tragic loss for his family.
May I ask the program chairman if he still intends to bring in outside guests?
Afraid I was very busy at the office today. Didn't have time. Try to do better.
Leslie Nielsen, who portrayed the suave and sophisticated A.J. Henderson in Columbo beginning in 1971 at age 45, was known for his versatility and ability to play both comedic and dramatic roles. However, his personal life was filled with heartbreak. His first marriage to Monica Boyer ended in a bitter divorce, and his relationships afterward were also tumultuous. Nielsen's devotion to his career often kept him away from his family, and the emotional distance caused by his work left him estranged from his children. Although he eventually remarried, the strain on his personal life never fully eased. As Nielsen grew older, he battled health issues, including complications from pneumonia. Despite his professional success, his personal life remained a difficult and bittersweet story of lost connections and unspoken regrets. He passed away on November 28, 2010, at the age of 84, leaving behind a legacy of acting greatness that was overshadowed by the emotional toll his personal struggles took on him.
The contact may want to frisk you.
Well, let them. They know I'm an operator, or don't they?
Well, they do, but they don't know your name or anything else about you.
When did you use one of your men out here?
Dean Stockwell, who portrayed Eric Wagner in Columbo beginning in 1972 at age 36, was a gifted actor known for his rebellious and free-spirited character. His personal life, however, was filled with emotional chaos. His marriage to Joy Marchenko was strained due to Stockwell's ongoing struggles with addiction and his emotional instability. Despite his immense talent, Stockwell's battle with substance abuse left deep scars on his relationships and personal well-being. Although he found some professional redemption later in his career, particularly in Quantum Leap, the ghosts of his past lingered. Stockwell's addiction, coupled with his complicated family life, made for a tragic story of a man who couldn't reconcile his inner demons with his outward success. He passed away on November 7, 2021, at the age of 85 from natural causes. His death marked the end of a tumultuous life filled with both brilliance and profound personal struggles.
You want me to pick you up? There's no sense in taking two cars to the airport.
Well, you're our leader. What are you doing now? Playing right tackle?
I got the radio on here in a...
Timothy Carey, who portrayed Bert in Columbo in 1971 at the age of 42, left a lasting impression with his eccentric and volatile character. His portrayal of Bert, a figure marked by unpredictability and chaos, became one of the most memorable in the series. Carey's career, however, was overshadowed by personal turmoil. He struggled with severe depression and alcoholism, which affected his relationships and career trajectory. His first marriage to actress Shirley J. Carey was marred by infidelity and ultimately ended in divorce. Despite his struggles, Carey continued to land notable roles, such as in The Killing, 1956, but his personal life never seemed to stabilize. His second marriage also faced turmoil, with financial troubles and emotional distance. Carey's personal demons took a toll on his health, and he died on May 11, 1994, at the age of 65, after suffering a stroke.
The red ski mask. A little taller than those bottle of olives on top of that counter. Not a big guy.
Darrell Zwerling, who portrayed Louis Lacey in Columbo in 1974 at the age of 46, was known for his meticulous portrayal of an eccentric character. But in his personal life, Zwerling was far from meticulous. His first marriage crumbled due to mutual infidelities and a lack of communication, leaving him emotionally scarred. His second marriage also faced significant challenges, and his strained relationship with his children deepened the emotional turmoil. Zwerling was often isolated, with financial struggles and health problems exacerbating the emotional strain. Despite his work on Columbo, which showcased his unique character portrayals, Zwerling's personal life became increasingly overshadowed by these issues. He never fully recovered from the breakdown of his relationships and the isolation he faced in his later years. Darrell Zwerling passed away on April 11, 2014, at the age of 85.
I really don't know what to do. I can't go any further without them. I mean, I'm not even sure you'd want me to continue.
Patrick O'Neill, who played the ambitious architect Elliot Markham in Columbo from 1972 at age 45, was known for his portrayal of complex characters. Off-screen, however, his life was fraught with turmoil. His marriage to actress Tippi Walker ended in divorce, as the pressures of his acting career and personal demons took a heavy toll. O'Neill was deeply passionate about his craft, but the demands of fame often left him emotionally distant from his family. The emotional fallout from his personal life led to strained relationships with his children. In his later years, O'Neill's health deteriorated as he struggled with respiratory issues that severely impacted his ability to work and live a normal life. His battle with illness was a tragic reflection of the struggles that often accompany fame. O'Neill passed away on September 9, 1994, at age 66 due to respiratory failure. Robert Karnes, who portrayed Grover in Columbo starting in 1972 at the age of 55, played a character known for his methodical and diligent nature, a stark contrast to his own life. Off-screen, Karnes faced personal difficulties that were just as complex as the characters he portrayed. His first marriage ended in a bitter divorce after years of infidelity and emotional neglect, leaving him estranged from his children. His second marriage also faced numerous challenges, including financial hardship and emotional stress, ultimately leading to another failed relationship. Despite his professional success, including roles in The Fugitive, 1963, and The Twilight Zone, 1960, Karnes found himself unable to maintain stable personal relationships. His later years were marked by loneliness and isolation. Robert Karnes passed away on December 4, 1979, at the age of 62 from heart failure. Joshua Bryant, who portrayed Dr. McMurray in Columbo in 1974 at the age of 34, was known for his compassionate and skilled portrayal of the character. However, Bryant's real-life story was far more complicated. His first marriage ended in emotional turmoil due to his wife's affair, leaving him devastated and emotionally withdrawn. His second marriage was also strained, and Bryant found himself unable to reconnect with his daughter from his first marriage, which led to further isolation. Despite being a well-regarded actor with roles in The Streets of San Francisco, 1973, and Mission: Impossible, 1971, Bryant's personal life was overshadowed by unresolved grief and family conflict. His later years were marked by solitude, and he became withdrawn from public life. Joshua Bryant passed away on June 25, 2024, at the age of 83, after a long battle with the emotional scars left by his failed relationships and the weight of personal tragedy. Don Keefer, who portrayed the deputy coroner in Columbo beginning in 1971 at the age of 55, was known for bringing precision and expertise to his role. In his personal life, however, Keefer faced challenges that mirrored the complexity of his characters. His first marriage ended in a painful divorce, and his second marriage also faced significant strains, with both parties struggling to overcome financial and emotional obstacles. Keefer's strained relationships left him increasingly isolated, with little support from family in his later years. Despite the professional success he enjoyed in his career, including roles in The Twilight Zone, 1962, and Perry Mason, 1960, Keefer's personal life became a source of constant stress. His later years were marked by loneliness, and despite his advanced age, he continued to battle health issues, including depression. Don Keefer passed away on September 7, 2014, at the age of 98 from natural causes. Who is your favorite character in Columbo? How do you feel knowing that the actors have passed away? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. Thank you so much.